Alright, we're live. Welcome everyone to another Old Ways of Spero. Darkness Falls. I am Benito, your humble DM, bringing our heroes to this journey. I will introduce our cast and then do a little recap. Mark, introduce yourself and who are you playing?
I am Mark. I'm playing Starlock, a mage of the Circle of Blue Roses, an investigator within the Circle and Shire at the bidding of Lord Hesketh of Greyheim to investigate these arcane happenings.
Matt.
I'm playing Balsa Doom, a local family rancher, also member of the town militia, and recently tendered his resignation as the town sheriff, though that has apparently caused some turmoil and disruption that he didn't anticipate.
All right, Nate.
I am Nate. I'm playing Ian Spire, formerly the Lazy Bard, the ex-con, the Wiggly Finger Murderer, and now the voice of the Raven Queen.
The voice of the Raven Queen. Speaking of Raven Queen, Jeremy.
Yadro Rinky, and I am the tailor of the group.
Keeps it simple, humble. Tyler.
Hey everybody, I'm Tyler, and I'm playing Tyros Roanoke, the druid currently in search of a new adjective.
Not of the Raven Queen?
You are.
Well, I mean, I was lonely, and then I was just adjective druid.
Oh, I see.
I need a new adjective.
Gotcha. Stephanie.
I'm Steph. I play Balin Goodell, the Black Sheep's noble, cousin to Carolyn, not as Black Sheep. And I'm doing some extracurricular activities.
As you would.
Also the Raven Queen.
Art. Oh, we can hear you.
That would be because I muted my microphone to be
That makes sense.
polite. I'm Art. I'm playing Ash Excaligo, a cleric of Cross, the god of protection.
Leonika.
And I am Leonika of Tabletop Journeys, and I am playing Mshale of the Welshire Foxes.
And at the last minute, Our Lady of Welshire.
Hi, I'm Jen, rejoining at the last second from Oregon. And I am playing Lady Cadell, Heroine Cadell, Cousin to Balin, and yeah, that's fun.
All right. Well, as we all remember, you have defeated one more of the Black Zodiac a little while ago, and then you had a chance to kind of get yourself resettled in the town, kind of get a moment to figure out a lot of the things that are basically going on. So the Greyheim Knights under Sir Murray are off to the west trying to deal with the Breckenvale forces, giving you a little bit more protection. And as this time was going on, Yujiro did a little recruiting, and several members of our heroes have now sworn their allegiance to the Raven Queen in different formats and have seen different blessings. One of those things that happened is an actual Tyros actually created a statue that's not too far from the Cadell estate and the temple of a raven, a great big raven there. That's has definitely drawn attention and a buzz amongst the people. She's not yet welcomed in the church, as Ash has been trying to make sure that she has her own singular place for her own worship. As we also did that, we also, as Matt had mentioned, Thulsa has kind of like shown his frustrations with what is going on in the town and stepped away from what he believes is the sheriffing of the town, and still willing to serve and protect. He's trying to find ways about going on because he knows there's corruption within the town, but he has kind of like ruffled some feathers of a different matter with others around him and needs to kind of get back into graces as things are still kind of like unfolding. And at this point, I will go back to Lady Carolyn. Things have nothing has. So you've had a few weeks. You guys have kind of established yourself. The town is still at its own peril between Breckenvale. but I did send you information with the political landscape of the Alanis realm, which you, to get everything's a little bit more in perspective, this is a small fiefdom of the Kingdom of Khazgoroth, a city off to the northwest from where you're located, and under the king there. So you are more directly to Greyheim. Greyheim really kind of deals with a lot of your issues. If Greyheim can't deal with it, the King of Khazgoroth would. But there are some things going to be happening, and I believe those of the Raven felt a disturbance in the Force, so to speak.
Okay, so you said something political stuff, and I apologize to everybody who could hear the echo. I'm in like a concrete room. I don't see, unless it was that big one.
It's in the chat. It's just a quick blurb from above. It's above the link.
Yeah.
Did read. Okay. Okay. No, I did read that. It's been a couple events that because I have my notes with me, so I'm doing a lot. So the defenses were done because I think that's the last thing I remember was going on to look for defenses with my cousin.
Yeah, that was right. So basically, there's some. He wants to show you the new tower down here. 21.
Will be able to get like palisades or some sort of cheap fencing.
Okay, I guess let's go see this tower.
You can start getting some lumbering. Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit. There has. Here's the thing. You guys kind of want to build a wall, but most people in Greyheim of their lineage don't. There's a strange sense of honor with not hiding behind walls. The Greyheim people are very overly brave in that sense. So the tower is all right to have or if you want to make a little smaller positioning, but people of Greyheim welcome the challenge of what the realm brings. It's sort of a badge of honor.
Maybe it would be better to start turning the estate house into more of and build a wall there.
That's possible.
Nothing wrong with a keep.
That's true.
No, I have no problem with that. I would probably want to encompass, because number 2 is number 2 the temple?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Maybe
the smaller buildings to the south.
Those are just like
Smaller buildings just to the south of the
market. Open market.
That's what I thought. Okay. And then over here where my arrow is, just south of 11, is that the main road that comes in?
Any one of those to the far left, right, and these other parts would be going down below here is actually toward Breckenvale. So I actually should, if you want, I can really. The numbers are facing this way, but west is actually pointing down.
Okay.
Lady Carolyn, maybe we could.
I
look.
think.
Jen, can you hear anybody besides me?
Okay.
Jen, can you hear anybody but
Yes.
me? Okay, I just want to make sure.
Yeah, Lady Carolyn, maybe what
Yeah.
we can do with some of
I
that.
think there's a Go ahead.
Yeah, there's a big delay, I think. Lady Carolyn, I was thinking perhaps what we can do is build watchtowers. Start with perhaps watchtowers in the in the Breckenville direction, and then at the four cardinal points of the town.
This is one
And then
watchtower
we
right
have-
here, Lee. That one right there. That's the first. That is one watchtower that's now built.
Right. So if we built another one over here by, and I'll turn on my pointer. If we built another one over here, and then one here, and then one here, that would be a good start. And then as we go, if we need more, if this conflict continues, we can kind of fill in those gaps. And as opposed to building walls, just have watchtowers. That will give the ability for folks to one, easier to have sentries. They'll be more effective, and two, it will allow a vantage point for better defense.
That's pretty much what I was thinking as well. And I started talking as soon as I heard Lee stop talking. So I'm assuming there's a delay, and I'm going to refresh at the end of my sentence now.
Ben, you said that there's been 2 weeks. What's the disposition of Sir Murray and the troops currently?
You don't know. They're
Because right now we don't really have anybody to man these towers.
yes, they're out. They're out far to the west fighting, or investigating against Breckenvale. They're about a number of miles out there.
So even 2 weeks later, our troops are still not back to town.
Something's going on. Something's going on with that. You guys have another unit that came from Greyheim, which is under Sir Simeon Fry. So Carowin's cousin has that unit of, I think, 10 men or 11 men left. But those 20 some odd knights that were with Sir Murray are way out west. Because remember, he was a little ticked off when he heard that Breckenvale assaulted you guys coming. Well, not you particularly, but the rest of the group coming back.
What are our Fey knights doing?
They have been now integrated with the 3 remaining foxes, or 4 if you include Mshali. So they're being kind of like made as scouts now for you. So they're kind of been on your perimeter. They're contactable because they haven't gone that far out like the Welsh or the Greyheim Knights.
It's not enviable, but if we have to put commoners, if we have to put townspeople rather in the towers to aid with the watch, that will allow us extra eyes without further limiting our active manpower.
So
Wow.
they're on the way still, apparently. But one of the thoughts that I was just having was maybe if any families in town were interested, maybe we could elicit some young people the ages of say 9 and 12 to be
Did we lose
and
Jen?
they could, run errands and can you hear me?
Yeah, you're just kind of
Oh,
choppy, but
I lost
Yeah,
my-
you're kind of choppy.
She
okay.
dropped completely off my screen.
Yeah, she said she lost you too.
I have you right now,
I saw
Jen.
both of you.
You two might want to refresh a little bit, but Jen, so you want to recruit younger people? Or did she just freeze? We lost her totally.
Jen,
I have a
Oregon
feeling-
internet.
Yeah, she just got it rebooted, so we're having a little bit with that.
While we wait on Jen for a moment, I've got a feeling that if we placed totems of ravens around the perimeter, that I could watch for danger.
How?
Just trust. Just me and the Raven Queen think it would work.
Famous
So,
last words.
again, how?
Just like place the totems like around the perimeter we're trying to protect from danger.
And
But alternatively,
how are you
I
going
do-
to go through them?
I do think a moat would be doable also.
Around the whole town?
Yeah.
A moat is very similar to walls. It just happens to go down instead of up.
Yeah, I don't think you're gonna sell the moat idea, but I think the Raven purchase seems like a decent idea if you have a way to communicate with them easily.
Do you have a means of doing that? Is that a spell you can cast? Or is it just you hope the Raven Queen will share with you?
I think that's how it would be. The Raven Queen would hopefully share with me based on the totems, the presence of danger, proximity to said totems.
You just hope. Put ravens out there and hope that's your solution.
I mean, that's faith, isn't it?
So
Most of the other gods actually let you know exactly what's going on. You don't have to hope.
So Tiro,
It's up to them. They give you a spell. It works.
if you make raven nests and put the symbol within them, that will aid the Raven Queen in communication with you through that.
Excellent. I'll get on it.
And you have taken into account that the people of Wellshire may or may not be comfortable with the idea of
A
symbols
wall.
of a new god being placed around their the town that they've lived in for all their lives.
They should praise their savior, someone who's willing to protect them. How would they not?
Well, they don't know. No
I think,
one's
yeah, we would be
They're
discreet.
just questioning. They're just wondering. They don't know if whether they've been. They don't know whether they've been cursed or blessed.
This town has always been a welcoming place, and I don't wish anyone who is of your faith to take this as an entirely negative. Let me say it plainly. If you surround this place with these things that you talk about, are you not, in a way, attempting to consecrate the entire town towards your god?
No. This wouldn't be like the statue in the center of town.
My
Close to
question,
the statue is attempting to consecrate them.
my question then becomes, it doesn't matter what it would do. What matters is what the people will think.
I think the key here, Jiro, is the people don't know what to make of your statue. I understand it as a symbol of focus, a center of worship, your shrine, as it were. But the people of the town don't know. You are not very clear as to what the Raven Queen wants, or what the Raven Queen offers, other than to say, she's your savior.
Well, no,
you need-
that's what I just said to you. I haven't not said anything to them.
So
That's a problem, actually.
I think I can help with making the people okay with what we want to do and making them feel safe with the Raven Queen.
I think you first need to find a way to make all of us comfortable with what some of us want to do.
Well, and
Agreed.
Charlie, do you fear ravens? I mean, as someone who's very nature heavy, you understand what ravens mean, right? They're very intellectual creatures. They do not bring forth any ill omens.
Yujiro,
That's why their groups are called murders.
that has
You may
not been
want to
clear
rethink
about what's
that
wrong.
idea a little bit. I mean, they are called a murder of crows.
I
They're
think
not crows.
I think you need to again, I'll try to say this plainly. I have no fear of crows. I have no particular fear of of your belief. I am concerned that it is happening rapidly and that people will not understand. It is not long ago in the stories of my people when they used to visit this area that the halflings from not far away would take anybody they didn't know or understand and throw them in a well. We're not that far removed from that kind of hysteria if things move too quickly or are not known. My people traditionally didn't stay in this area long when they roamed because the fear of the outsiders and the unknown was strong here. And while things are changing, in one day you build a temple to a god no one has ever heard of, and within a few weeks hence, you build perches to the symbols of that new god surrounding the people. You're not moving in a way that's going to make people comfortable. And with all deference, and understand me, Ian, I know you want to do right by people. I call you a friend on purpose. But you cannot sway the minds of fear indefinitely. We have not even successfully swayed the concerns of fear with one of our own. Be very careful. Be very careful.
I will say, from what I've seen, that the populace is unsure. And I can't assure them, because you've never been clear with me what she wants. Other than I can say, she's here to help right now. Can't tell what price she exacts. I don't know what she wants in the future. That comes from you, her primary follower, and anyone else. I completely agree with everything Amshale says. I don't particularly have a problem with the Raven Queen. She's been very helpful for you, but the populace of the town and your friends could use some clarity on the Raven Queen's long-term desires.
Right now, you're kind of in the starting phases of paganism. So, you gotta grow and become mainstream before people are really gonna incorporate talking to her into their daily routine.
If you want to be a savior, first you have to save them. We're coming into the back half of this zodiac with all the beasts getting stronger and stronger. If she's successful in saving them from all of these challenges, then you may actually be able to put up your perimeter, and they'll be much more accommodating of that. Till then, you're just a salesman, promising that things will get out if they just follow along and give you all their whatever.
With all due respect, Starlock, isn't that what you are?
Yep, but I'm just a man, not a god, and I'm only here to help. I'm not here to save. I haven't made any promises.
Raven Queen is also here only to help. But yet, we willingly, well, let me backtrack. We were told by Tulsa we had to go and listen to everybody, and we had to go to Welshire, and we had to go listen to you guys, and we had to bring you back, and we had to listen to you decide what things we're going to do.
And those were all
we were told was we had to do it. At least the Raven Queen, which by the way is different than Crows, just letting you know of that kind of craziness. At least she's willing to offer help, not demands.
That is based on the words of authority in a system that you've been placed under. So,
because we were told to by a certain someone in our group. But anyway, what do I know? What do I know?
Yeah, and you've seen how closely aligned Thelsa and I are with each other. We agree on almost everything. Now, if we're done with strawman attacks and sarcasm, I can certainly set down my sarcasm. But let's do a job.
Yujiro, I think you just need to talk to the people. You and Ian share your information.
So, I think Ian will have the best way to persuade the people to not feel uncomfortable with the change that is happening in our town. I think he will be able to explain that to them, and that it is for their safety, not for any other ill givings. Also, the nests that Tyros is to build are not some statuesque coops. They're not going to have the symbol displayed like it would be. They just need to have the symbol within the nest so that the ravens there have a link to the Raven Queen. So that should not make them feel uncomfortable. In fact, he should be able to just put them within the trees along the outskirts of our town. There should be nothing to... Yeah, there should be nothing to make the townspeople feel any uncomfort about it. As a side thing,
Ben?
Mshale, I'd like to speak to you aside from the group.
Okay, yes, Art.
Ben, historically, what's the population of ravens in the area like?
I wouldn't say they're like crazy amount, but you definitely have seen, flocks here and there. It's definitely a very common bird. I would say common. I mean, you're not like, it's not like Rhode Island where a bunch of seagulls would be like constantly around your mess, but there are times.
Or Norwich, Connecticut, where you've got
Yeah.
vultures hanging out
Yeah.
downtown on the green by NFA all day, every day.
Yeah, sort of like, they're around, but yeah, it's not like crazy right now.
And do they seem to be more prominent now than they have been in the past?
Not right now, no, you haven't seen anything really.
Okay.
The most popular bird around is actually Tyros' owl.
What?
Tyros' owl.
My concern is what you're describing is what my people used to refer to as hex bags, where the power of a shaman or the power of in some cases a witch, in other cases of other magic users would be placed in these bags, and they could be put on a person or placed in a spot to give somebody, usually the person who created them, vision or sense in an area. Those bags are only regarded positively if it's known that the person who made them is a good person. If there's an unknown bag, it can be a very frightening thing. Our people used to stay away from areas where these things were known from. You never knew if a hex bag belonged to somebody trying to protect an area or somebody lying in wait to spring a trap. We could reroute a journey by months to avoid such places.
Well, your people are going extinct, Mshale. The foxes are waning. We're trying to make that not happen. And losing this town would continue to make your people less. Because we would lose you. We would lose the rest of the foxes.
Understand, when I say my people, I'm referring to the mountain people from which we came from. Those of us who settled here when I was a child are the ones who left the mountain people. They still carry on. We are the ones who like this place well enough to stay.
And you
Our
know
people
Tyros.
continue. And I know Tyros. I do not know this Raven Queen. And I worry, and I have concerns that until I know this Raven Queen, it is not something I would myself be comfortable with. But it is not my decision. That is up to Lady Carolyn and whatever counsel she seeks. I merely say I have concerns and I urge, I want you to be cautious. I have seen villages turn on people they once looked to as heroes the people of the mountains have been chased from areas that once welcomed us simply on the turn of the mob.
I do understand discretion, and I appreciate the word of warning of Jala.
The one other piece of advice I would give you is remember that any kind of scrying or any kind of magic like that can be twisted by the realm as it so desires, whether it be arcane or otherwise. So it can be overridden even by a god. It's a imprecise thing.
Well, of course, I imagine any god, being a god, can do as they like with magic.
They can't, though. That's the problem. Is the realm could decide that it doesn't work.
All right,
Just
Lady
a word of
Carowin.
warning. I'm not saying don't do it.
Lady Carowin. So, Tyros is suggesting making raven nests on the outskirts of your town with a totem of the Raven Queen inside each of the nests. And he has said that the Raven Queen will be a watchful sentry with that power. Do you wish to allow him to do so? Or do you wish him to wait?
First, and Shale, let it be known, and I will publicly say this, that I am here to protect all of the peoples that make Welshire their home. Whether it's people who've been here for generations or the mountain folk who have more recently joined us. But my goal is to protect all. With that being said, I think that we need all the help we can get. And if we can get help from our friend Tyros and the animals, however he facilitates that, I think that would be helpful.
Okay. So you're going to do that. You said you wished to have a conversation with your cousin, DeFry, Simeon. How would you like to go about that?
I would honestly have that in private.
Okay. Why don't you then message me as you want to do that? That way we'll keep that a little bit more attuned to that. I'm going to hit a couple other members just so I can kind of go through some things. Starlock, are you going to now hang around, or do you want to do more investigation of the rune? I mean the rune thing. Circle.
I'm not sure what else I can do with the circle, and I'm concerned about being down there without enough manpower for defense. It's been like 2 weeks since the last attack.
Mm-hmm.
Are these attacks coming more and more frequently? The interval shortening?
Well, what they told you was it was sporadic. They have there's no way they've gauged it from 4 attacks, and you've had 4 variations. Again, you only had a little bit of your information that was given to you in Greyheim. Now you are here in person, so you have now seen the realm do something with this circle. Like, you now know it's tied to that because it made 2 tunnels that never existed before and now removed one. One of them still remains that you are now trying to gate, but that's as far as you've gone in your investigation. That's why I'm asking is, what do you want to do to start unraveling the riddle? The other person too is Yujiro is the only one that has seemed to have been able to decipher what you found out to be abyssal runes.
The one time element that Thulsa gives Starlock is that we've seen that once the sigil or icon or whatever you want to call it starts to fill in with blood, that the monster arrives generally between 24 and 36 hours.
Right.
Depending upon the speed of that animal, because they're coming quicker, but they were faster beasts, if you will.
Right. I need to confer with my fellow mages that have come and see what we might be able to draw out of the information that we have. I'm going to pour over some books a bit. So previously, I was going to lock the door to the basement, and that would help prevent anyone that was being summoned by some sort of control down by the circle, or people that were being directed by others as minions to go down. But given that that has been a great controversy and has caused much civic disruption in the roles that people play here, why don't I extend the hand of trust then and request that no one go down into the basement to tamper with the symbols or with the wheel until I can get some more research done, and we'll go from there.
The only one thing I want to say about that, though, is you do know when the blood fills up, that's an indication of a Zodiac coming. So right now there's a ward on the door, or if you don't let anyone down there, then they won't be able to know.
So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to remove that lock. I locked it at that time to prevent people from being compelled, lured down into the tunnels. And that caused significant heartburn amongst certain members of the populace. So I will merely request that people not kill themselves in their explorations. And I will try to do some research on this.
Okay. Why don't you roll me, put in your notes, an Arcana roll, an Investigation roll, and a History roll. Roll all three of them and put it in the personal chat to me. Alright? And then I'll get back to you.
Okay.
Also, at some point while you're doing all this research, I can tell you, and we could probably work together on the fact that I have the resources to cast a rune of warding on it.
Okay. How would that work? What's your thought with that?
Basically, my thought process was an alarm ward. If anybody that we didn't want approached it without our knowledge, it would alarm us with it.
Okay, I have a similar thing, but mine is significantly shorter duration, I'm sure.
Mine is permanent till trigger.
Fair. That can definitely work.
Mine is expensive, that's why I had to acquire some diamond dust. But, yeah, straight up with the warning. Not that he would absolutely know what it is.
Yep.
I don't want to make it an explosive one, but I would need an assistance from you to cast a spell in it. Do you have the spell message?
He would know that, but I need to look.
While you're doing that, Tyler, I need you to roll me a survival check as you place these nests around the town. That's pretty much what you're going to be doing in that regard. I just want to see how well you perimeter it.
23.
Pretty fucking good. All right. We will get back after you're doing a lot of that then.
All right.
Imagine a druid with survival.
Yeah, I use druid craft.
Some of them don't have it. You'd be surprised. I would like to have a conversation with them, Chalet, privately at some point.
Yep. But before that, well, we'll let you. All right. So Starlight, you got that going on. I just want to check. Thulsa, what is now your plan?
Well, Thulsa's been working in the church with Ash and Michelle. As part of their conversation, where Ash asked him to, keep busy and help out. So, organizing, helping people in the church, again, meeting with, keeping in contact with the people. He can use the church as the comings and goings there as a way to keep tabs on the folks. Also, since we're pretty shy of fishermen in the town currently, I've been left behind by Murray. I can use those horseshoes of speed to really kind of keep patrolling, as a cavalry horse soldier.
Well, they're going to use the Fox in the summer nights, but the church was actually requested to find a building dedicated to the Raven Queen. And since you know the town the most, I want you to take this time to pick a spot on this map, which the building now will be dedicated to the Raven Queen. And when you have that, let me know.
When they built the temple, I was good with that.
Yeah, but it was still just a statue. It's not their actual church. It's just something.
Yeah, I'm good with that. I'm good with just.
Well, there's more. The church was promised, so a building must still be appropriated. There are followers now.
As far as I know, there's only 2. Well,
as far as you know,
3 if not 4, but I only know 2.
But you made the commitment that the Raven Queen has
a
church.
I made the commitment to myself. I didn't make the commitment to anyone else. I was doing that on myself.
Somebody else heard pretty well, so that's how it's going to go.
I don't know who else.
She's not in your church. That was the important thing.
All right.
Nate, you are spreading the word, I take it. So yes. I need you to go through. I need you to roll a persuasion check at advantage, please, as you talk about the Raven Queen and ease the people of the town about her coming.
$26.
Nice.
See? That's why he's the voice.
I also need you to roll an investigation check, please.
Three.
Okay. I'd rather you roll poorly on that than actually the Raven Queen thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So basically right now, Dulce is checking around. Ian, you are spreading the word of the Raven Queen. Tyros, you are making a perimeter around Wellshire. Lady Carolyn is in conversation with Simeon DeFry. Balin, what are you doing?
Is M. Chalet gone walking to Zero again, or are they done?
Well, I mean, I would let you talk to M. Chalet first. I think that would happen before Carol. Yujiro would kind of pick a little bit of a different moment.
Okay. And I would walk over to M. Chalet.
Okay.
You know, all due respect, M. Chalet, you're one of my longest acquaintances, people that I would trust. But, you know, you talk about being afraid of any kind of pagan ritual things. We met because of that. Do you not remember? Lee, I think you're on mute. mean, I could have a one-sided conversation.
You stunned him into silence.
Wow, Balin, you're amazing.
She
Oh my
totally
God,
could.
thank you so much.
It's stuff.
You don't know how many people had wanted that power over Lewanika right now, though. Oh, now he speaks. Now he speaks.
I knew that would break him loose.
Damn! Like, literally, the universe has righted itself. I can speak.
I love you, my man.
I know you do. That's all good. I love you too.
Alright.
I'm well aware. Yeah. And begin C. I know how we met, and I also know who she was before we came to know her. I just
wanted
want
to help us, though. Remember, and everybody in this room that was arguing willingly took her advice about the Zodiac and what it was, and all her magical knowledge of everything. I just think that before people want to jump down other people's throats, you know, maybe people, just because they look different on the outside, doesn't mean that they're all hating everybody on the inside. That's in a different country. She willingly helped us, and she's one of the bad people.
I don't want you or anyone to think I'm against the Raven Queen. I worry about the way Yajiro brought her into our lives, but what she has done has been wonderful. I have concerns, and they're probably more with Yajiro than her.
What would be of concern with Yujiro? He's literally a middleman with some sewing abilities.
I have never met a follower of a belief, a totem, or a god who didn't proudly stand up and shout, "This is who I am and what I am," to everyone at every time.
Wow.
And I feel that Yajiro has been a little too much like ourselves in his approach to his deity. And that worries me.
Well, not everything everyone needs to know. I mean, you trust me as a friend, correct?
With every part of me.
And you never knew about the time that I had to run from a field of cows because I stole some gold from this guy who tried to steal something. You didn't know that story.
No.
But you still trust me as a friend. I didn't feel the need, it was important to tell you that story. But you still trust me as a friend. Just because someone's different doesn't mean it's bad. Sometimes it is, but not all the times.
But even you, who didn't feel the need to tell me many of those stories, still let us all know when you converted to the Raven Queen.
Well, I mean, I didn't say it out loud.
Didn't you, though?
No, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about.
I guess what I'm trying to say is I worry about the way he approached it. That is a concern. That is not a don't follow the Raven Queen. That is not a stop Yujiro in his tracks. He's evil. He's going to turn on us. It's none of that. That's not what I'm saying. I didn't like the way he did it. What I am mostly worried about is if anything goes wrong, the speed at which the people could turn on any who follow the Raven Queen. And I'm worried that that now includes you.
But couldn't other people turn on other gods that didn't fulfill prayers that they asked for? I mean, anyone can turn on a god. Just because it... So let me ask you this. maybe not so much you, maybe more of the group, because we know I have communication issues with everybody else. You know, what are people more mad at? Are they more mad at the fact that we are willing to be a part of the Raven Queen and what they want, or that we're not willing to do what they want?
I can't speak for anyone else but myself. I can only tell you what I see and what I observe. Balsa doesn't trust magic. Balsa doesn't trust those who wield it, who are not part of the written orders, that are not known to him. And Balsa has the ear of many. He's respected.
So
And
are
if-
a lot of negative people in power, but we still have to listen to them apparently.
It doesn't take much for a group of people to become a mob if they're scared. They
Well,
need to know this Raven Queen and know her works before we start, before Yajiro starts, before the rest of the group, before our group starts celebrating and venerating her. What could be some people scared could very easily become a witch hunt. And then half of my friends could be lost.
do you trust Yujiro?
I trust him more than the winds and the river should allow me to. And I swear, my dear friend, if you ever tell him that, I will call you a liar.
I've been called worse. So,
Not by me. I'd really hate to call you that.
that's okay. Remember, chased by cows, it was a long, more, anyway. You say you trust me, you say you trust your Zero. Well,
I don't trust that he knows what's good for him, though. I
But-
don't trust that he's going to make all the right moves and that some of these won't come to bite him. I
So-
watched Ian nearly be captured and almost killed because he did the right thing. That was a penance I was willing to pay, and I took that choice myself on purpose. Ian just stepped in and did the right thing, and he is still vilified for it by Tulsa.
Yeah, but in all fairness, everyone is vilified by Tulsa. Come on.
Not everyone.
Yeah.
I mean, I got yelled at, but I don't think he really got in my shorts indefinitely about it.
Okay. Well, thing is like, you're able to say that you trust Yujiro, but you don't trust so much of it and what he's actually knowing, whatever. Anyone could say the same about you. In all fairness, you know, your heart means well, but if you're not willing to look at all options, only certain options, how is that any different than what you're blaming onto him?
You know my skills, and you know the things that I have the ability to do. Not many do. And I keep it that way on purpose. Because
I'll end it with this. All right, look, I'm not from here. I really don't care to stay here. My history and family here is not a good one. I am here because of Carolyn. I am here because of the friendship I have with you. We'll let Thomas be a taped on branch to that. But in all honesty, you kind of need to trust the fact that there might be outsiders that want to help. And if that's the case, we trusted Tulsa going to Starlock. We have to trust that scenario. So, you know, sometimes you can't have day without having a night. Otherwise, it's just all day. And I sense
agree.
it very easily.
I do not. And I agree. And there are times where I hide much better in the night than I do during the day. I just want him to be cautious. I can't protect his back if he's making moves faster than I can identify threats.
Well, that's where everyone's random skills come into play. I'm not the most innocent person. I definitely have, marks on my past, but people want to trust me, some, not all, that I'm going to help, and I will. Just because I have a shady past doesn't mean that I'm not a horrible person in my judgments and decisions. Just because I'm willing to trust some type of deity because she showed me that it was worth trusting her, it doesn't make me a bad person and worth questioning. If we have to explain every move we do before we do it, nothing is going to change. Nothing will get done. Except maybe us dying in a horrific fire. Which would be bad. That's all.
Fair enough.
Up top? Wait, up top?
Okay, as you got part ways, Ash, we gotta find out where you are and what you're doing.
I sent you a bunch of stuff I want to do. Mostly moving around town regularly.
Okay, so you get more of those.
I mean, yeah, it's all kind of tied together between trying to work with the guards of the town, with the tower, trying to get a feel for the town, assuage any doubts that we're doomed. I know Ian is now actively promoting the Raven Queens, but I'm sure people will still have doubts, so I tell them, look, she's here to help. Regularly checking on the keep, not the keep, the estate house on the circle, so making sure Carowin doesn't need anything, making sure her parents are secure. My normal stuff, basically.
Okay.
Until it hits the fan.
Alright, that's fair enough. Okay. Tyros, give me a perception check, please.
14.
As you were setting up the nest around, you will notice two things. One, the sun really has sort of disappeared by a very thick, heavy cloud. Like, you didn't think it was really the season for it, you guys, because you're late summer, I think we talked about. So to have this type of lack of sunlight, a little weird. Second of all, you're starting to notice a number of wolves, like, not too far from where the town is. Like, they're sniffing around. And that's like, this is like, as you said, around the town, like, there were small pack of 2 to 3 wolves in each of the areas all around the town.
Wondering if it wouldn't make sense to try to make contact with them.
It's up to you.
I think I will wild shape into a wolf as to be unassuming.
Okay.
And cast Speak with Animals.
Okay.
Actually, have we had a long rest? I assume we've had a long rest.
Yeah, absolutely. A couple weeks been going on.
Gotta reset my stuff here. Cool. Alright, so Speak with Animals.
Alright. So you're approaching a couple of wolves. Give me animal handling so they don't spook them.
12?
Alright, they're growling warily at you, but they seem to hold ground at the moment.
Am I close enough that they can hear me?
Yeah, you're probably about 12 feet away, so you could speak in a heavy voice to her.
So I'll approach them in a non-aggressive manner, sort of head down. I'm from the town nearby. I'm coming to see what's the matter. How can I assist y'all?
You hunt in these woods?
I mean, our people do when they need food.
I seek important blood for the master. You know this? Do you feel it in your mind?
I'm sorry, I don't understand. Who's your master?
The master of the land. Open your mind, you will feel him.
Hmm. Think you guys might be mixed up.
There's no mix-up. We are his. You should be his. What kind of wolf are you?
Just the regular kind, just a wolf's wolf, if you will.
Are you a spy?
No, like I said, I live in the nearby town.
Give me a deception check. It's not too high, it's a wolf.
17?
Okay. We want the blood of the old one. You know where he dwells?
Could you be more descriptive?
The old one. Have you not smelled his blood?
I guess not.
You go back to your town. Avoid the men with spears. Find the blood of the old one, and we will return for you. And the two will pad away.
Uh-oh. Alright, so I'll head back into town and try to find the group.
You stay as a wolf, or do you change back?
Like right around the border of town, and once I'm out of sight of the others, I'll change back.
Okay. Yeah, alright, so you come back into town. You will run into... before you do that, though, I'm going to give you, Jiro, the chance to talk to him, Shali, because he wanted to set something up. So, Jeremy and Lee, it's all you.
I assume we're off by ourselves, correct?
Yes. Lee, Jeremy
Okay.
unmuted.
So, as I'm approaching Lee, I'll get a thought and wait, is Ian not the person speaking words? Who was speaking words for you?
You, Jerome?
Oh, sorry, I'm sorry. I was talking. So something that I wanted to talk to you specifically about was during a conversation regarding your word of warning about the potential for people to change due to fear, which I completely understand. Oh yeah, Lady Balin is great. Especially when it comes to reaming people out and stuff like that. Yeah, she does that. The lady actually spoke about you, which I didn't feel was the right time to bring that to you while we were amongst the group and we were discussing what we were discussing. But she did tell me that she knows the followers of the goddess that your parents are kept, and she can get you there with me as your guide, but she does need you to recognize her and recognize that she's not a threat.
I understand I appreciate what the Raven Queen is offering, but maybe she does not know me as well as I think I may know her. I do recognize her power. I do recognize that she is not the threat we face. What I also recognize is that if her instruments, if the people she has leading the way are not careful, the very people we seek to protect will become our threats. Make no doubt about it, you are a friend. Balin is a friend, Lady Kirwan is a friend. Our group are people I trust. And I will die defending you. I don't want to throw that away because you're all being hasty. I am the fastest of foot amongst our group, save the few that can make themselves into animals. And I can even keep up with a few of those. But I promise you, me running off into the woods after a threat that I don't understand or know, or being transported to the city of the damned in a situation that I don't understand, even if it's to save my parents, has a greater potential for harm than success. I cannot protect you, my friend, if you move faster than I can identify threats. If the Raven Queen thinks I don't recognize her, don't acknowledge her, then she doesn't know me. I will not venerate her, but I will and do respect her. That's the most of a promise she'll get from me.
Yeah, that's understandable. I mean, of all those that I would consider close to me, you're the one that I told her I would not try to get to bend knee, if you would, to her. Because I don't think that it is who you are. And I don't think that you need to do that.
There are beings of great power. There is the cause of nature, there's the cause of sunlight, there's the cause of life, the cause of fire and conflagration. I venerate the domains when the time is called, and I respect the gods in the moments that they are due their respect. But I serve no one of any of those masters or mistresses. I am of the mountain people, and we are not of one protector. And we are not one of the defender of one. We are the people who walk, because when you become static, you lose sight of what you're trying to do and protect. My family stayed because we had to, and because my father was convinced that this was the place we had to stay and protect. I believe that it's Balin and Lady Kirwan. And those of us who are her trusted friends, their trusted friends, I'll protect you because you're my trusted friends. And we collectively will protect them. When that time has come, I will rejoin the walk. Or if that time is indefinite, I will stay.
Well, I do not believe that his weakness makes him ignorant. I think, in fact, T'Challa's weakness makes him stronger. My lady does say that she can see the weave of the realm and what it's coming to. And she knows the danger. And she knows that she needs to protect her children in order for the realm to flourish. And that's really what she's looking to do. And she's been by my side for many, many years. I think now I've just found my voice in trying to bring other people to understand her.
My wish is that each of my friends find their voice, strengthen their power, become better at who they are and what they do. And I'm happy that you are doing that. I just want you to be safe while doing so. So I can't venerate your queen.
She is not my queen. We have
But
yeah, I do understand that.
But I will continue to defend and protect those that she has under her wing. And I hope that that's enough for her to be sated.
I hope so too. I know that she, just like the rest of us, she wants to see you fly. She wants to see all those who she would deem the protectors of our realm fly.
As you make that last statement, Ijiro shows up.
Flying?
No, walking too. Not as a wolf.
I'm waving like Forrest Gump too. I'm like doing one of these.
And I will sigh like Lieutenant Dan.
I approach the group and holler out. I got all the nests set up and noticed a bunch of groups of wolves out around the perimeter. So I made contact with a group and they were extra creepy.
What makes a wolf extra creepy? You gotta explain that a little more, because wolves are scary in general.
So if you've seen The Lion King, I assume everyone in this universe has seen The Lion King. The hyenas from The Lion King. Kind of like those.
They laugh at you? I laugh at you all the time.
Do they bite their own arms?
Yep, the whole deal. Voiced by Whoopi Goldberg and everything. They seem to be out for blood, not just like in general in the out for blood sense of the term, rather a specific person.
These wolves are minions of the Dreadlord in a way?
So the Raven Queen has a little bit of information. It's
Michelle, have the foxes said anything about wolves being in abundance lately?
I'm gonna ponder for a moment, and Charlie's actually thinking deeply, and he's actually asking Ben a question, and if I have to roll, I will roll. Given the strong area feel for Kier, wolves being a bit of an issue for Kyrians in some fashion or another, do we often get large packs of wolves that hang around? Is that something that would be unusual in and of itself?
Yeah, it's definitely unusual. Wolves are not frequent of this area because it's too heavily traveled.
Okay. That's not normal, and they're not good.
certainly. They were asking about the old one and presumed that I also could smell his blood. Not positive who they would be referring to. Is there anyone in town?
Talking about Ash? I mean, he's old.
Potentially.
You guys.
Does he have smelly blood?
Actually, you're older than most of us, Ash.
I think by a year, I think.
Ouch.
The old one, I don't understand.
I'm sorry it's coming up, Buckus.
I'm concerned it could be myself as well. I've been around many moons.
You do smell. I agree. We
Yep.
yeah.
Little
Sometimes
smelling also.
we just don't bring it up.
Yep.
Much.
But so of the people of town, of our town, us round years, not you. The oldest here would be what? Lord Cadell, maybe? Or Lord Cadell would be one of the oldest here.
It doesn't necessarily have to be any of us in our group. It may be somebody our group knows. We should gather and ask each other and see if anybody has, if this information brings us to gives us an idea.
Well, don't forget, Lord Cadell is still alive, even if he's not able to say or do anything. Lord Cadell is still alive.
Understood. Oh,
Not Lady Cadell, not Carowin, Lord Cadell.
Alright, so you wish to form Lady Carowin and the heroes of Welshire to be assembled?
Yeah,
Welshire
definitely-
Avengers assemble.
I'm trying not to metagame here because I just had a thought and I want to make sure that it's a relevant in character thought because I know which amongst our group I would ask if that thought made sense.
Okay, with the help of the town militia, you guys will go to the Cadell Estate House. There's definitely some issues going on, brought up via perimeter finding, so it definitely makes it important for all of you to be there. And I will let the three of you who found the information decide how it will be spoken of. I will ask, all 9 of you are here, yes. Is there an NPC? Did you request any other non-player characters to be at the meeting?
Yeah, we should have Yolan. We should have the fire lady.
Magdalene
Okay,
and Larkin.
And Larkin.
okay.
And
I have Pistachio with me.
Pistachio.
Who's the Lord of the Fae? The one running the Fae.
One of the Eladrin guys, yeah.
We should have probably them.
One of them's
Unless
here.
Diana's here.
No, one of them's here. No, she's not here.
Fire Touch is still here.
Yeah. Okay. So
And I'm gonna try keep as many details in my head as I possibly can because I have somebody I'm gonna ask about afterward or share information with after, but I'm not asking them to be here.
okay. So I guess Yujiro, you wish, or Shala, do you want to make the report? How do you want to go about it?
Lady Tyros noticed something in the woods that was very unusual. I confirmed that it's unnatural, and that I'll let him tell you what he heard and what they were saying. I'm worried that I don't know who or what it could be referring to, but I'm hoping that amongst us all we might have an idea. Tyros?
So after completing the nests around town, the Raven Queen for our signal wall, I noticed groups of wolves starting to 2 to 3 wolves here and there grouping up around the perimeter, and made contact with one of these groups. They proceeded to tell me they were looking for the old one. They could smell his blood. And
Raven Queen believes that these are followers of the Dreadlord, and that the Dreadlord has returned to this realm. And she told me that he seeks his lineage. I don't know who the Dreadlord is, and I don't understand what his lineage would be, or who that would be.
Then
Well, that would be the lady we don't like to name because it brings her attention, and I'm not sure she's ever left.
Then, she's considered a god now. Would the other guy be commonly known as the Dreadlord?
Do you
Or
have
at least
do you have proficiency in history?
I have proficiency in history.
What is your bonus?
+3.
You're gonna have to roll.
Who's that guy?
Can I roll 4?
It's only a 9, so.
You're proficient.
Yes, +3.
Yep, but you have a very high DC, so go ahead.
Nope.
It's fitting.
Where I have
the
some
dice are fitting.
some insight.
So fitting.
Are you also proficient?
Yes, I am very proficient in
Bonus?
history. It's +7.
Okay, roll.
Computer says 26.
Yep. Okay, so Starlock, you will know of the Dark Lady is no longer the Dreadlord. That has been passed to Zarian, but he has been gone for a long time. So the realm was, like, a lot of your studies have been stale. That is why you are an investigator for the Circle of Roses, because a lot of activities were stale. That's why actually, you kind of look at things. The captain was kind of really shocked about the circle, and as well as you, because these are more like, that's more commonly what you guys do now is find ancient archaeological sites and stuff like that kind of bring back some very old lore. You're probably thinking 500 years ago was the last recorded history of Azarian. So, I mean, you do know he's a vampire. It's not like this wouldn't blow your mind that he could be alive. You don't remember how he disappeared anyways. So he was either dormant, sleeping, or something. But that would be the only name that you know of that has taken those are two people that have taken the mantle. Silk, but you have a pretty confirmation that she's no longer the power, and that got passed to Azarian. And that's your
I
best
wonder what
confirmation.
sort of agent or force of evil would cause his return.
I don't know.
I don't know how that
Could be
would
some
happen.
nasty, deceptive druid.
Somebody obviously didn't do what they were supposed to do.
That bitch.
You
That bitch.
You didn't think you'd never have to deal with that situation again when that choice was made. Strange.
I didn't think I'd have to deal with it this early.
Timetables. Alright, so Starlock will tell you that, I guess, right? So
Yeah.
you have now that information.
Azarian was known to be. Was he known to be the Dreadlord 500 years ago, or was he just a strong power?
No, he was the Dreadlord. The Dreadlords are very
Okay.
obviously known, and remember, he took over like all of Alanis,
Right.
except for Chanku. I think I have up there. It's the only place that he didn't really take over, and Misa. Most of other places
Wasn't
was ruled by.
sure how many years Silk had been a god.
You're assuming in the 500 years, like that's why she's been removed, because she became a faith. So, and then when she became a faith, the realm looked for something that it could really control, because it couldn't control her anymore as a goddess.
We would recognize, though, at one point or another that Azarian was known to be emperor, right?
Yes, I would say now that he says it, I would say Ash would know that, like, oh yeah, you're talking that far back. I mean, that would be like someone saying something, and you're like, oh, Alexander the Great? Oh shit, yeah, okay. I remember something of that type of conquering level going that far back.
Yeah, but Alexander has come back.
Yes, unfortunately, this way.
So it had been 500 years of relative peace with the Dreadlord in some sort of dormancy, and now is active again.
And you said he was looking for the blood of the old one?
Blood of his line, apparently.
So he's looking for the Greystokes? There haven't been Greystokes in hundreds of years.
Well,
We met Diana recently.
why were the Fae interested in you, Ash?
I don't know.
We met Diana Greystoke relatively recently. She's serves Queen Titania, lives out in the woods. She saved me, but she also tried to kill me. She wants me to find someone for her, but I don't know who. I think she's Fae.
That completely stands for all Fae.
She's human. She's from the Summer Court. I mean, Fireheart, Fire Touch is here. He can speak to her. I don't, not lineage, but
Yeah, Fire Touch, speak up. We're talking about your captain, commander.
She's a Greystoke. She's not the only one. She has an older brother, and her father is Greystoke, made Greystoke by the goddess Silk.
they were made Greystokes.
Yeah, I don't know. No one really told me much. That's all I know.
So one of the symbols on the wheel is a War Maiden, and now we're talking about Azarian looking for somebody in his line. We've identified somebody who would be a powerful warrior who is also female in his line. So that may be a conclusion that I've jumped to. However, given the way things go horribly, that might be it. That is, if they go in sequence, then that's 3 from now.
I would only say that she's helping us, though.
Now,
I don't disagree with your placement of the details, but she has been down next to the circle before. She looked at it to see if she could give us any insight. So
if it didn't go in sequence, then that might have triggered something in her. But if it does go in sequence, then she hasn't been corrupted or activated or compelled yet, if that is the thing. We're just talking about the Dreadlord looking for his line. One of his line was just identified. She would be a powerful military force, and War Maiden is one of the symbols on the wheel.
The Raven Queen's telling me that the Dreadlord seeks vengeance because of a betrayal that he met, and that the ritual isn't something that was performed by him, but in fact it was performed by someone else.
What ritual? The one in the basement?
I think a ritual that perhaps summoned the Dreadlord. Like you said, he may have been in some. The Dreadlord may have been in some type of stasis or sleep, but something woke the Dreadlord.
So during the research, I was able to see that, or all of the indications of the research indicate that the magic is a very ancient, primal form of magic tied to the land. It's dread in nature, and that the runes, as they seal with blood, the blood turns into a wax-like substance. So the island is trying to make something, trying to change something. It's trying to make a change. In the past, it's been known that the very geography of the land changes. Cities aren't where they were before. Mountain ranges fall. Islands crash into the continent. Pieces separate from the continent. But in amongst all this, the island can't act freely. It's being restricted in some fashion, and that this ritual is its attempt to either lift that restriction or continue to get leverage to be able to force a change. I'm still looking into it, but in the interest of transparency, that's what I found so far.
Somewhere along the line, someone had mentioned something about this definitely being tied to the... Something about the Dreadlord. I can't remember the word that was used. But it was definitely tied... The ritual was definitely tied to the Dreadlord by somebody else's words. I don't remember who. that sort of just confirms what you just said, basically.
Yajiro, can the Raven Queen tell us who cast this ritual? Who's behind this? If she's telling us it's not the Dreadlord, who did this? Or what group did this?
She was not able to confirm at this time, but I believe she is actively looking into it. The Dreadlord is a danger to everything, right? Like I don't know what a Dreadlord is, but if you give something a name like that, a title like that, it seems really dangerous.
Jeremy, I think you'd know what the Dreadlord was. I think that's a common term for everybody, in all honesty.
Yeah.
Okay, is it historical danger?
Well,
Yeah.
if you're not proficient in history, the Dreadlord has, like I said, 500 years of appearance
500
means
years, so
nothing
you
has
might
happened. That's why you haven't seen the Mist. You haven't seen minions of him like the beast control that he may have. Anything Ravenloft, Alanis has not been that. It's been pretty dormant. And again, the kingdom's splintered up. So Khazgoroth has a number of things, but Ser de Lum broke off. St. Augustine broke off. A lot of those cities kind of like returned to their old powers in the time in those 500 years. So a lot of more human conflict has been resurfaced and made to happen compared to under the Dreadlord's rule.
Zero.
Efficiency in history.
Zero. One other question: can the Raven Queen confirm that the gods have the power to make someone of a lineage, even if they may not have been before?
Lady,
You're just looking to justify
heard
it.
the conversation. I'm sure that you heard the question from him, Chalet. Perhaps you could help me answer it.
Oh, sorry, say that again, Lee.
Can a god make someone a lineage if they were not? And if that happened, would they not truly be that lineage moving forward?
You just want to justify HK.
I am only going where Chalet's taking me.
I've already broken the multiverse, so don't you worry.
That which can be given can be taken, therefore cannot be the definition of a thing.
So I think the other question we have to ask is, do we even want to share that we have a suspicion with the Dreadlord? If we want to let him know, we can. I mean, that's how the island works.
What do you mean, share a suspicion with who?
With, like, we're suspecting that he may be looking for Diana.
I think he's looking for who Diana was looking for.
Which I believe was Ash, right?
Correct.
Ash, she had questions for me, but
she wanted to take you away.
She wanted to take me to her Summer Queen, or Spring Summer Queen. Yeah.
Is that not strange to you?
I don't know why. I've never got any good answers. I just convinced her that I was staying here.
Whatever the Queen wants, the Summer Queen wants, she's very secretive about things like that, so it's very difficult to discern. I mean, without Diana knows more. She is a knight of the court. She would have more information, if not the lady herself, like the court's lady.
The Raven Queen does confirm that it has been done in the past, and the person who bled in that name and birthed 2 children to be reborn with that family name did it to thwart a war with other gods. But it seems that another was found in the past and made to return.
Huh?
You're the smart one, Ash. You do all the history stuff. I need you to decipher.
Gods and
Alright,
their riddles.
So it sounds like a god has made someone of the lineage, and that they have had 2 kids. So I'm going to assume whoever Diana's father or mother and other sibling is, but that somewhere along the lines, another Greystoke has, what did she say? Been found?
Yes.
So somewhere along the line,
Made to return.
Made to return. That's a harder one. I mean,
Well, Magdalene goes, if we're talking people here, we can assume it's not the Cadells. We know their parents. We know the lineage of their parents. Mshali, your parents have been abducted, which would mean if they were looking for your parents or you, they would go elsewhere. So, Ian, your parents also work the shop. We kind of know that. Thulsa's mother is still here. So, candidates would be you, Ash, Yajiro, and Tyros?
My parents are dead, so I don't think it's me.
Well, and if Yujiro's an option, then of course it's only about the only one.
That leaves, in my opinion, based on what the Fae came here for, you, Ash.
Dun dun
They
dun.
were here for you.
the Fae were here. Well, we know the Fae were here for me for something. Are you saying the Fae are here because they think I'm a Greystoke?
Yes.
How could I be a Greystoke? There hasn't been a Greystoke in 500 years.
Until now.
My mother's from Casborough.
In the simplest ways, if a family only has daughters, then the name would go away, but the blood would not.
Ash, who's your father?
I don't know.
Who is your father?
I honestly don't know. He was a soldier. My mother met him when she was in Casborough. When he went to war, he sent them to his family in Harlock's Hold. That's when my mother was ambushed on the road and found herself here.
Is
Pregnant
Ex-Caligo
with me.
your father's name?
No, Ex-Caligo is Draconic for of the mists.
When did you adopt that as a name?
It was given to me at birth
By your mother.
by a ranger who followed God of the Mists.
Nyx.
Artist forget. Nyx. It was a ranger who followed Nyx. Her goddess said that would be a fitting name for him.
Interesting. So your name does not come from your own heritage.
No.
Does that not also seem strange to you, Ash?
I mean, I've lived with it all my life, so no one's ever thought twice about it before now.
Well, yeah, we hadn't had fairy people coming looking for you, and now wolves.
How about
So
the fact that Harlock's Hold is legions from here?
that is also why the ranger that followed Nyx was surprised. that the travel from Kazgoroth to Harlock's Hold did not take them near here. Look, it's a mystery. I don't know. It seems far-fetched. How could I possibly be a Greystoke if the last Greystoke died about 300 or 400 years ago?
I mean, I think Starlock explained it pretty well. If it was a consistent line of women, would they not take the name of, at least some of them would take the name of whoever their betrothed was, and that would change the final name, but it wouldn't change your bloodline.
But then that would also mean they could be looking for my mother.
Fire,
she would be
Fire Touch goes, Starlock. Do you know I am unfamiliar with these Dread Realm mists? Can you explain these to me?
The Dread Realm mists?
Ben,
There's,
can I have an...
Go ahead, Matt.
there's a lot of elements to it. What is your question about the mists? They're not a simple thing.
Well, Yujiro is saying something about the past. Can they act as they do with us of the Feywilds? Where time is sometimes not as stable to the mortals.
There are documented cases of people walking down a road, walking into a fog bank, cloud bank, whatever, if they were high on a mountain. They felt that they only walked 10, 20 feet through the fog before it lifted. However, when they walked out of the mist, they were on an entirely different road, like going from a dirt track to a fieldstone paved rock road, going from a mountain to a lowland. They had crossed hundreds of miles, even years of time had passed, where they walked into that fog and only walked 10, 20 feet. They actually were missing for 20 years. There's also documented cases of people from other planes, other lands outside of Alanis arriving here trapped because they walked into a fog bank. It can move people across distance. It can move people across time. It can move entire ships. There have been times when whole cities have been swallowed up in the mist, and when the mist cleared, people outside the fog, seeing the city wrapped in mist, when the fog cleared, the city was no longer there. It had literally been physically moved to another part of the island, and perhaps didn't even emerge there until decades later. The mists are a phenomenon. They are definitely a real thing.
Ben, can I have an insight roll? You gave some info to Starlock in the information dump that wasn't necessarily related specifically, but
Insight to him or insight or an NPC?
Insight insofar as putting your info dump together with things that have been said.
Are you doing a history check or are you inciting a person? I'm just trying to make sure I'm getting an understanding.
Well, you said that we haven't really seen the activity of the land for 500 years.
Yeah.
Which would include the mists, right?
Yeah. So you're asking Ash if you're saying Ash is believable?
No, I'm looking for. I mean, you gave an info dump to Mark.
Yeah.
Who obviously didn't relate everything you said specifically and directly. But if that info was, we haven't really seen the mist act in 500 years, and he's talking about the mist moving his mom, maybe that was 500 years.
Yeah, okay, give me an insight check. I get what you're doing now.
So that'd be a 23.
Okay. It is into your chat.
So, Ash, I'm just kind of curious. As you came into town, I mean, we were both kids, kind of around the same age. What year were you born?
I would tell you I was born, I think, a year or so before most of you. I think I'm a year old.
What year did your mother tell you you were born?
The right year. I don't know what you're trying to. I hold on. Let me see if I can find it. Ben put all our birth years, so I mean, whatever birth year you guys think I was born is what I would have been told.
Okay, so my question was going to be, are you the same? Did your mother say you were the same age when you left to go to Kasgaroth as when you arrived here?
I was born here. I was born
Okay.
when my mother came out of the mist. So I've been here all my life. I was in, while she was in Kasgaroth.
What we don't know is when she left Kasgoroth versus when you arrived here. She arrived here.
Well, she's still alive, right?
Yeah, she's.
Well, let's
At
go
home.
talk to her.
Because I mean,
She's never really talked about her
Spero
father.
indicated that we haven't really had any recorded activity of things in the land, doing things in the land stuff for 500 years. So if there ain't been anything missed for 500 years.
I think
But
we
it
need to
hasn't
talk
been.
to her.
If there hasn't.
I think I should go talk to my mother about these things and see if she can remember anything.
And maybe your dad's name too. I never pried, and I never even thought to, because
I've been raised by my stepfather, so not a thing that I even consider. She never shared, so I didn't press. Other than he was a priest, and he was a soldier, and he was going to war, and sent her pregnant with me to
which
live
war?
with family. I don't know that she ever said.
Yankee.
Ash,
Yeah.
What wars were Kasgaroth in the last
a
30 years?
priest.
A priest what?
Ash, she said that your father was a priest. A priest of whom?
Tyr. Why I initially had grown up with thoughts of following Tyr, and of course the tales of the old heroes being followers of Tyr. The loss of my sister led me to Cross, but always had a soft spot for Tyr. Anybody got any more questions for me?
I think the rest of the questions are going to be towards your mom.
I got one that's kind of personal and kind of not personal and might stir up some questions, but on the current front, are you okay with, or is specifically Cross okay with the Raven Queen kind of taking over his portfolio?
What? I don't know if the Raven has stated what her portfolio is. She's here to help, but she's yet to.
Well, right. Well, the gods exist, in the whole framework because people kind of talk to the gods and ask them for things. Cross is kind of, as I understand it, the god of protection, and now so the Raven Queen's kind of in drug dealer mode, and she's kind of offering wishes, and she's kind of offering different things to get people to be interested in calling out to her, and right now she's offering a lot of protection. So people are going to start going to her for protection.
She's offered life. It appears as though she's offered power. She's offered a great many things.
Right. She's right now. She's trying to sell her product, but
Yajiro, that could be one of the things I had said to Yajiro was that her long-term goals are unclear, and what she expects to be god of is unclear as well. So I got no problem with it. Gods change in this realm. It's happened before. It'll happen again. And she's likely to take over someone's portfolio, but I still receive my powers from Cross, not the Raven Queen. So she's not taking over.
I understand that. I appreciate that. It seems like if things keep going the way they are, a lot of people are going to be going to the Raven Queen to ask for protection. And that's what she's offered to a lot of people right now.
And that's her purview.
Spend a lot of time in the church, and I'm trying to figure out how all that works. And
so my point of view is, Cross is the god of protection and protectors. The Raven Queen has yet to declare what her desire is, what her portfolio is, so to speak. Like you said, Yajiro and her have been offering things for conversion. I wish, Yajiro, you were more open about what her long-term goal, what her portfolio was, but I can't force another to do that. But that's not part of what we're here to discuss right now. So,
sorry, you just asked. We had questions, and that's been weighing on.
All right, no, that's a good one. That's a good one. I am going to go speak to my mother. Who would like to join me? And I would ask that not everyone storm down to my house.
I'll go.
And Shelly, since you volunteered, why don't you go?
Sorry.
And report back to the rest of us.
Jen, you both broke up.
She said for him to go for the group.
I said, Shale, you volunteered, and him and Ash come back and report.
Of course, my lady.
Between Starlock and Ian, which of the two of you know most about ancient history if we're concerned about traveling through time?
Not me.
Alright. Well, bards, you know stories?
Yeah, I don't know. He may know more obscure things than I do. I would say that most of my assets in that area are because I have access to a large library. So that would be the thing. If neither one of us knew, I would have a greater chance of being able to research it and get that information.
Well, I would welcome either of the two of you, being that I know you both know, Ian, you know the random things, and Starlock, you know the book things. Maybe you guys will think of questions to ask that might be better than me.
If you want me to accompany you, I certainly will. It'll be my privilege.
if you don't mind my saying, you might check with our little altar to Thoth in the church, because I spent a number of years gathering, stuff from Michelle's library. I think I picked up a very rare tome or two for her to include, so there may be some extra knowledge there about the histories that you could look into.
I know the stuff that's in the church, and none of that is that in depth, but we'll consult her afterwards, obviously. So, all right. So whoever wants to come, just like I said, not everybody.
I join you.
All right. I head to the blacksmith, where my mom is and my
I'll
stepfather.
let Starlock go.
Okay.
All right.
Your father goes.
I would like to stop by Baker or something on the way to pick up a cake or some frosted rolls or something, since you're concerned about people descending on your house with no big crowd. We should bring something.
That's very polite of you. I'm sure she'll appreciate it.
I try not to be the intruder as much as I can. It's not always possible.
Ben, what are the odds that I have some herbs that she might be able to use for cooking or whatever in my various pouches?
I'd say pretty high. You can go with that.
Okay.
I mean, you just get the name right. Alana, his mother, is not a mystery in terms of to many of you of the town. Of course, to Starlock, she is. His father is the smith. They've worked. They're pretty open. So visiting is, it's like a lot of us when we were younger. We would just show up at a house, and parents kind of like took care of you, stuff like that going on. So that's in the same similarity. So you don't really need a grandeur. She's gonna welcome you guys regardless.
Yeah.
But Durrell, the smith, will call out to you, Ash, as soon as he sees you.
I'll wave back. Hi,
My boy.
how you doing?
He's hammering away. Still working on the suit.
Excellent. How's it coming along?
Close. It's close.
Nice. I look forward to seeing it. I'll be back tonight to help work on it some more, but I gotta talk to my mom.
Okay. She's upstairs.
All right. I'll go inside and I'll do something that you guys don't often see me do. I take off my helm. He's always wearing his helmet at the priest's cross. He goes to the bottom. I go to the bottom of the stairs and I do the thing everybody does when they get home. Hey, Mom, can you come downstairs for a minute?
Oh, okay. Hi, you're back. I thought you'd be so busy with all those crazy events going on. And she makes her way downstairs.
Yeah, it's been really busy with everything, but some other oddities have come up.
Oh. Nothing too troubling, I hope.
I don't think so, but I know you've never often talked about my father.
And Chalet says,
I introduced her to Starlock. No, actually, I forget. I'm distracted. I would have forgotten.
Before you go, hi ma'am. I wanted to bring by some stuff I found on my last outing. I have that sylvan sage that you like so much for your roasted meats. That I know your husband thinks it's wonderful. And I also brought you some special moon leaf because it's a really calming for tea.
Oh,
Give her a little cup.
you're always so thoughtful, Shali. Just so sorry about your parents. Did you ever find out where they ran off to?
Still working on that, ma'am. But I appreciate your thoughts.
Oh, your father's the best scout in the town. I'm sure he's exploring some Some deep cave. I'm sure he'll be back in no time. We'll set things straight.
That's what we long for, man.
Would you do you want tea?
That'd be nice, yeah.
Okay,
Mom, this
okay.
is Starlock. He is Starlock, I'll let you introduce yourself.
Hello, man. Firstly, allow me to offer these as for your hospitality. I picked them up. I believe they're fresh baked on the way here. My name is Starlock, as mentioned. I'm a mage in the Circle of Blue Roses, here under the orders of Lord Haskett of Greyheim to help investigate these horrible events that have been happening.
Oh, sir, a rose mage. I haven't seen many of those in a long time.
Oh, when did you last interact with the circles?
Oh, in Kazgaroth? Long ago. Yeah, long ago. Not many in this town here. They pass, they never stay.
I think your town is far too peaceful and uneventful. It's a wonderful, wonderful aspect, but not much to hold the mage's interest for very long, perhaps.
Well, what would a circle mage need with me here?
He's here. He knows a lot about history. He's not. I don't. People are asking questions about me, about where I came from, about who my father is, and I know you've never talked about it much, and I've always respected that, but it might actually be important now.
Oh, your real father. That's a long time ago, Ash. I mean, there wasn't much to say. There was so much conflict back then. So much conflict. But that was the refugee run that I did way then until I found my way here. Yeah.
You've never said who he was, and that may be important now as to his actual lineage. Is there a reason you've never told me outright? And just not that my stepfather has been bad. He's been fantastic, but
Yes.
it's
Terrell
important.
is a kind and loving man.
He is very. That's why I never brought it up before.
I was young, Ash. There was a war going on. I can't remember a lot of it. It was so long, and things are foggy and cloudy from then.
Do you remember what war it was that was going on?
So much call for power. It's hard to say. Ash, just give me a D20 roll. No modifiers, please. I'll do that.
Just a straight D20. 18.
She will go. I remember we were trying to get Harlock's hold, or if we had to, we would have went to the Darkshire. The Darkshire, yes. So I was surprised when I found Welshire. It was like a blessing, like it was made for me to come here.
Yeah, you said the mists came and obscured you.
Yes,
And
I called
you
for
walked out
Nyx.
of the mist here.
I remember calling for Nyx. I remember telling Dina that I think her name was, yes. Delia. When I remember when Delia saved saved me from the orcs. We called to Nyx.
And Nick brought you here.
Yes.
So you don't remember much about your time? You don't remember my father at all?
He was a handsome man, like you've grown into. I remember that. Very handsome.
I mean, so you had told me in the past he was sending you to live with his family in Harlock's Hole. Do you remember who his family was?
No, I don't remember it much.
So then I'm going to roll. I can't do it. This would be my mother. I can't assume she's wrong. I can't do it. You never assume your mom's lying to you.
She doesn't look like she's lying. Actually, go ahead, give me an insight check. I will give you a different version of what you're trying to do, but in a different sense.
23. Does she look
Perfect.
confused? Like she's
Yes. You feel like
something wiped from her-
it's like amnesia or something, or an obstructed memory, or she hasn't gone back to it, but she's pretty sharp. And Shali will probably also pick up on it as well, that because you've known her for such a long time, she's always had the perfect recipes. She remembers all your times when you have to do something a date. You've never really seen her confused about something. But it definitely looks like she's trying. She's recalling some things, but it looks like she has to really, really dig deep inside to think about something like that, and you're not sure why.
Ben, I have seen people enchanted.
You
but
don't
I
think it's
this
that.
is some form of enchantment.
No, it's not magical. There's not enough magic in the sense that you would assume that. I'm gonna let you roll an Arcana, even if you're not proficient with it, and maybe you can piece something together from that.
It's not like she's got a curse going on. More like something has wiped her memory a bit.
Yeah, that's not
good.
that's not
All
gonna
right,
get
I'm gonna
it.
give Mark the roll then. Mark, give me an Arcana check. Okay, good. Now I need you to make a religion check. A religion check next. Okay.
That is a big 7.
Okay, so you remember in studies that there's a lot with disorientation with the mist, but you would really, again, there's no major event, so there's no major celebrity that would put context into any of that for you to figure that part maybe what's going on.
Okay.
Unless you fully explain a little bit more to Ash.
So, 500 years ago, when we know that evil was afoot in the land, most definitely, the name of the Darkshire was around then. That's known.
Yes. That's ancient history.
Yep. And she doesn't appear to be. So she's not enchanted. She's not.
You do think
demented or
something is.
evil-minded.
You do think something is obstructing her memory. You just don't think it's like the modified memory spell.
Would it be
Right.
like a guess?
What's that?
Would it be like a guess?
Maybe.
But a geas is an active thing. You have to actively be moving toward the goal or the compulsion of that. So it could be like it, but I don't think that is it, because she has been passively doing things, I at least assume,
All right.
since you've moved here.
All right, Ash, why don't you give me the religion roll, seeing as the information is passed in between you guys. And your mother's messing around making tea, but she will begin to each serving each you guys a cup.
15.
Okay, that's good enough. You do kind of sort of know, because Nyx is a god of a minor religion amongst Welshire. It is believed that to obscure is also a way to say forgotten. So it is possible during those 20 years ago when Nyx had some prevalence or whatever, that he could have done something in his power to her.
So his mom is doing stuff with T. She's out of the room.
Yep.
Then I will walk over to Ash and Anshali and very quietly, without saying something to disturb her. So, the name, no land has been referred to as the Darkshire for 300 years. And when it was used, that was the name of this land. Welshire was built on top of the Darkshire. The Darkshire hasn't existed as an entity for 300 years.
This is the place, the Darkshire you talk about, that the mountain people used to speak of, that used to put people in wells when they feared magic. This is
That's
why.
correct.
This is the place that birthed the need for the Circle of Roses, because they
Right.
so didn't trust those who were unknown.
That's correct. And when your mother was a refugee, she was seeking a place called the Darkshire. So I think that anywhere between 500 to 300 years ago would have been when refugees would look for the Darkshire as a place for refuge. She walked into the mist, asked for help, and then walked out into the Welshire.
So how do we find out who his father truly is?
I don't know. Although, as a diviner, I should probably figure it out.
I think it's of great importance.
I could try to dispel any magic that's on her, but I suspect from what we've said, it's godly level magic, and I don't know that Cross would want to anger Nyx by interfering.
Well, there are times, it has been documented that there are times that obstructed memories like this are dressings on a wound that are too painful to recall. So it may be that part of the help was obscuring some of the pain, and she asked to be delivered to a place that's safe. That place just happened to be across a certain amount of distance and across a certain amount of time. And since that conflict is no longer relevant, I'm not sure that reminding her of it is valuable.
I think we need to find out who your father is, but I think we have as much as can safely be taken from your mother, and we should allow her to live her years in peace.
She comes back with tea. With those wonderful muffins.
Ash looks completely,
Oh, excellent.
totally
Thank you.
uncomfortable / he looks so out of sorts right now at everything's being thrown at him. He's not responding to either of you guys. He's got that 1,000-yard stare going on. He takes the tea from his mother and he takes a sip and doesn't even react.
Okay.
Is this tea made from the moonleaf?
Yes. Good shit. All right, so you guys gonna report back to Carowin? Is that the group, more or less?
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely thank her, and as we're leaving, I'll certainly, if there's anything that Ash's father is doing that picking up a few extra things, loading a couple a few pieces of wood or whatever, I would definitely go ahead and give a hand to make his burden a little lighter.
Okay.
I don't go back to the estate. I go back to the church.
Okay.
I don't even say anything.
So Starlock is going to go back with
walk away.
Well, Starlock, you're going to wait a little bit as Mshali starts helping stoke the fires a little bit more with Darrell, and goes, "What's with all the Greyhound Knights, boy?"
Sir, the lady wants to make sure her people are well cared for, and with our numbers a little small, she called for her cousins for some aid, and they were happy to lend it to make sure that the good people of this town would be safe.
Well, you know, Greyhound blood runs deep, runs bleak. That Greyhound blood.
It sure does. But I think you should know that regardless of what one's blood may be, the way that a person is raised is what really makes them who they are.
That is a true statement. That's why you're a good
Okay.
man, Mshali.
Well, thank you, sir. You have a good day. If there's anything I can do for you in between my duties, you let Ash know or let me know. I'd be happy to help where I can.
Of course. Alright, so Starlock and Mshali return to the group, and you may report your findings.
I'm not sure how much of this story is mine to tell.
Well, he didn't come back
This
with you.
is some very personal information regarding Ash, and in fact, it is so personal that he is overcome by it and has left in reflection. I can say that what we learned is not definitive. However, it is, the big word is probative. It is something that needs to be investigated further. It may even be probable. But the other details, I think, are best to come from him when he's ready to share those.
Do we
I will
think
continue
that's...
to use all of my resources to try and research this. I did get some good leads and places to look for it.
Carolyn will ask, do we think he's what the Fae court was looking for in the Dread Lord?
It's possible.
I mean, how possible? What's the percentage?
Well, the Fae have an interest in him, but it's difficult to actually say what it was that the Fae took an interest in. We can make assumptions, but that's what they would be.
Well, when we first met Diana, she said she was searching for someone of mysterious circumstances of birth. So, of course, Ash spoke right up immediately and said, well, I have mysterious circumstances of birth. So Diana honed right in on him.
But those are true statements. He does have mysterious circumstances of birth. Or it also could be that he's got interesting flecks of sparkles in his eyes, or the hair over his right ear is mystically important.
No, I'm saying when we first encountered Diana out in the woods, we asked her, "What are you doing here?" And she said, "I'm here searching for a child with mysterious circumstances of birth." That was her mission, her stated goal. And of course, Ash just jumped right in and said, well, "I've got mysterious circumstances of birth." So she honed right in on him, and she hasn't really looked anywhere else.
Okay. Yep.
All right, while you guys figure that, Ash, you're at your church. What are you going to do?
Pray.
Okay.
For guidance, for insight. for guidance, for insight, for a way to know the truth. And even though I know none of those fall under Cross's direct what do you call it, purview, that the protection of the realm could be at stake if the Dreadlord is truly looking for me. It's important that we know this so that I can help protect everyone. Yeah, keep praying.
There you go.
Do I feel like that's coming from Cross, or do I feel like that's coming from the other people?
That is from your god.
Okay, so it's a good feeling versus a dread feeling.
Correct.
All right.
I'll let you give a chance to think about that. Raven
Yes,
Cult.
thank
The four of you kind of left at devices after all this knowledge. What would you like to do?
We all just look at it.
Well, we haven't really learned anything because they didn't tell
Yeah.
us anything. It's all
There's
speculation.
nothing super useful with what Starlock said. He
Unless you
basically
guys-
said, we still don't know.
True, but you seem to have been given resources outside of what they're capable of. So as a group, as a faith, you might be able to discover things if you wish to change, like work your own magics, or so to speak, or skills. Wolves are surrounding your town by something called the Dreadlord. Like, this is definitely new information, but you may find more of that out however you want to apply your skill sets.
Oh. Let's see. Surveillance would probably be better with Balin or Shallot. Ian, I'm not sure if you can get some information out of somebody. Some of the more veteran folks of the town that might know something of the past.
I can do a
And
perimeter
I can
check
go
to
check
see what's
on-
around, see if there's anything besides wolves.
Don't go alone.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm sure it'd probably be good to bring for that. I think I'm going to go check on the seals. Maybe
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
see if
'Cause we
I
haven't
can
checked those in a while.
find something else out.
So is that the plan? We be all sneaky sneak. You guys be all
Yep.
cocky.
So, real quick, Malin,
So,
you and Ian have ties with the Society of Spies?
I I mean, in different aspects of, yeah.
Is there a way for you to use them to gather more intel?
I mean, I've used a lot of my resources recently. Are you able to do anything, Ian? I don't intend to overstay my welcome with my connections.
I can try.
How about he does what he can first, and then, like, if it comes to needing a Hail Mary, I'll call and see what I can do. But I don't want to always be asking for help just yet.
Understandable. And is Tyros with us too? Or
I was just wondering that. Am I with the group here?
Yeah, I said the Cult of the Raven. Well, I'm assuming when you guys were all there, you guys stayed. The only 3 people went and saw Ash's mom.
okay. Tyros, can you do a little more reconnaissance? Maybe even see if you can infiltrate one of the other packs, just to see if you can find out some more information.
Jeremy freezing for everybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Raven Queen took him.
Do not infiltrate the same pack.
We lost you there, Jeremy.
Yeah, we missed all that.
Yeah.
You might want to refresh, Jer. The last part when you're talking to him.
Download from the Queen.
Hold on, folks. We'll get him back.
Alright. Can everybody see me and hear
Yep,
me?
we got you now. You're clear.
There you go.
Okay.
Alright. Yeah, Tyros, if you could infiltrate a different pack and not the same one, because I'm sure they'll probably rip you to shreds and figure out that you're not one of them.
Good call. I'm also going to reach out to my owl friend, see if we can do some scouting.
Your owl friend is gone. But there are a couple more ravens that seem to be ready to listen to you.
Uh-oh.
Why don't you try with being more of a, why don't you try being more with a bird, since they have a very big aerial view? They might be able to have seen stuff from vantages that even myself and Shally couldn't see.
Also, good point. I'll reach out to the Ravens and see if they've seen anything, give any info. And then I want to go to the other side of town, opposite from where I went last time, to approach a different group of wolves.
Okay.
And I don't know if I cut out, but I did say that I was going to go check on the seals again. And maybe while I'm checking on the seals, I could have a conversation with the Raven Queen. Once I find out what's going on with the seals.
Okay. Starlock is saying he's going to go in that direction as well. He's asked Thulsa, did you want to go with him? As a request.
Go check on the seals down in the basement. Well, I don't want to go alone. That wouldn't be smart.
Right. So I'm not sure where I ended up because I didn't go to Ash's house and I didn't stay obviously with the cult. So I'm just kind of lost in the middle. But if you're requesting,
I thought we reconvened so everybody would be there.
Yep. So you'll go?
Yeah.
All right.
I can go.
So the 3 of you will make your way to the basement. So it's Starlock, Thulsa, and Yujiro. I don't know if Thulsa and Starlock want to talk. I think Yujiro, did you want to step to the side somehow? Is that what you want to do?
I mean, obviously, they could have a conversation with me there, unless it's something private.
I don't know. You said you want to talk to the Raven Queen or not.
Oh, what's ever stopped me from doing that with other people there?
I don't know. Nothing. She don't stop herself. Okay. What do the three of you want to do? You guys are there. The circle is there.
And
You're muted, Matt.
do we see anything change? Has anything at all changed?
Yeah, as far as what we used to have going on was the house guard would periodically check in just to make sure we were aware if something was filling in or not.
Okay. Actually, Yujiro, give me an investigation check. And as far as you can tell from that, nothing else. No other symbols have filled up. Nothing has appeared. Yujiro, you'll just notice that the blood in the other older ones, the other four, is more of like a waxy seal now.
Not point.
Nice.
Okay, it's turned like black.
No, it's just more of like it's like a wax seal, like you press to a document. It's just really, it's not like acting like blood anymore in that aspect. It's more like like I said, like it's sealed itself. But you can still see the runes, but they just have this waxy seal that it's no longer looks like blood anymore.
Interesting. Okay. What does that mean?
But
And this is the first time that we've noticed this, right?
Yes.
Because we've gone through what, 3 seals,
4.
and it's never looked like this before.
Correct.
Oh, I had mentioned that before, but I didn't realize this was the first time it had done that. That's interesting.
I wonder what's changed, other than apparently a dreadlord coming to our realm to potentially kill everybody.
He won't kill everyone. He needs, the island needs him to have people for him to torment and for them to torment him. So there will be upheaval, there will be mass murder, but it will not be extinction.
Yay, that sounds great too.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, what if? Because you mentioned this seems to be an attempt to make a change in the land.
The land wants to change itself, yes.
And you said that there hasn't really been a dreadlord active for 500 years.
That has been documented, yes.
So we have some kind of what we suspect is evidence of the dreadlord active again. So maybe the circle don't need to change the land like it was trying, because something's changed already.
What do you mean the realm cannot let him go again? What does that mean?
So maybe this circle don't need to do what it was doing now that something else has changed.
No, I think that this is part of the transition, that this is, we're seeing it happen in the middle of the occurrence. That if this were looked back on in a history book, it would look like this happened in a split second. Because there would only be one note of like in this year, whatever, and it would look like it happened very quickly, but in fact, since we're here in the moment, it takes time for it to happen. The land of the island can move. It doesn't move as quickly as a person, or even as quickly as, say, a treant, but it does move. Moving that relatively slowly, fast as far as landforms go. It still takes time and effort. generally don't actually see the cities change location. Actually, there is a dwarf. The hell was his name? A dwarf documented or had a theory that observed lands, traveled roads, mapped areas did not change, or they changed exceptionally slowly. They were constrained by the observation. So he set about making a big map, and that actually held several areas well fixed for a couple hundred years. But eventually that knowledge was lost and the island rearranged itself. So that might have been a complete aside and tangent, or that might be relevant. I don't know. My brain does that sometimes. But the island is constrained from changing. It's using the wheel as leverage or as a mechanism to make a change. The way it's difficult to crush wheat into flour by hand, but using a grist mill, a windmill, makes it trivially easy. But building the mechanism, operating the mechanism is not trivial. That also might be what we're seeing.
If I can,
Right.
Starlock, I think what you said earlier
Lee
makes
Wininka,
sense.
you're not there. It's only the three of them.
Dang it!
We're in the basement.
Dang it! And I was actually going to agree with Mark. That rarely happens. And it was going to be captured on video for all posterity. And now I can't even agree with you, Mark. Sorry, buddy.
It only happens when you're right.
I don't
So, from my perspective, it happens a lot.
I don't particularly understand magic. But I think what I do understand is when you enact magic, divine or the arcane type of magic, there's a design, right? Like this circle is a design. And the magic has a framework that it operates in. Is that even remotely layman?
Yeah, that's in there. So you can consider a blacksmith working metal. You start with ore, it's a powdery dirt. Energy is put into it, effort is put into it. There are rules, there are techniques. Over time, that dirt is turned into metal. Again, rules, techniques, tools. That metal is made into a plow. Then you want to change it again. Rules, techniques, time, effort. That plow is made into a sword. Magic sort of works that way. The energy, the materials around us act as that ore. Does that help?
Right. So, well, yeah. So what I was getting to in my head here is that when this circle and all the stuff around it was created, and then it was kind of set in motion, right? It was within a design and what was going to happen.
Right.
It was a starting point, and then it kind of goes in its design. So
Like windmill.
why did the design change? Has it? Nobody's been down here to change it, right? So this difference of this waxy looking stuff versus the blood that it was just a couple of weeks ago is different than it has been moving.
I'm gonna leave the room to go find Balin.
That may be a new feature, not a change, but a feature we hadn't seen enacted yet. It may not be an audible, it might not be an improv. It may have been that it was always going to do this when I got to the fourth one. We can't tell yet. It may be that the next the next three that fill up remain liquidy blood like the other ones had, and then on the eighth one, they all turn to wax. It's hard to tell with the small amount of data that we have right now.
Okay, while you contemplate that, it's late. Yujiro, Balin is about to head to her room to retire when you catch her in the hall of the estate.
Balin,
Yes.
I don't think this is something you've ever done before, but you do move in the shadows frequently. So, perhaps that is what she means. The Raven Queen is telling me that if you were able to bless the estate, that she would be able to help reveal the design of the ritual circle for us. I know blessing things is not typically your forte.
I usually end up cursing them and not by chance.
But I believe it has something to do with your ability to maneuver in the shadows and your control over that world.
I mean, I have no idea how to bless things. Usually blessing is one of those, like, not me things. So, I'm not against it, but I don't know how.
Yes.
I mean,
If you understand that. Perhaps the Lady Raven Queen could elaborate to us what type of blessing a roguish figure, such as yourself, would perform.
well, as if it just comes to me, not by any chance looking down reading anything. I mean, we could do something crazy, and I don't know, call it a church or something, Church of the Raven Queen. But I don't know. I guess that could be an idea.
Call the estate, the
Yeah.
Cadell estate, the Church of the Raven Queen.
I mean, I don't know how that's going to go over with everybody who doesn't like this idea.
I do not know either. And we'd also have to get Carowin to agree to that.
I mean, I could always just take her out drinking and she'll agree to much. So.
Yes, you do that. You obviously know how to persuade.
I'll take one for the team. I'll do that for us. That's fine. Don't worry. I know what she likes to drink. I also know what she shouldn't drink. Anyway.
Well, this is good, because I think this will give us much insight. The insight that we're missing, at least into the circle, because we've already got the circle to deal with, and now we have dreadlords and the realm trying to kill us. So the more information we can get, the more information we can divine, the better.
Well, I mean, as we all know, I kind of live by the it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission route anyway, so.
That's fair. I mean, that is kind of a good creed to live by.
I mean, it's done me pretty well. Kind of. There was that one time, but anyway, yeah. So I'll go get my cousin drunk. We'll see what happens. I can let you know.
Alright, and I imagine you can be extremely convincing when you want to be.
Sometimes.
Sometimes we'll have to do.
Ash, you will show up at the estate at this time. But it is late. You will know that.
I'm actually looking for Kiros if he's around, or if anybody remembers exactly what he said. I'm asking people.
Tyros was going to go do surveillance.
Yeah, I'll let you meet Tyros before he left to go perimeter. So you're not at the estate then, you'd be outside.
All
You'd
right.
be on the road. So
Tyler,
Tyler and Ash can talk.
what did the wolves say they were looking
The blood of the old one. To be
for? Why?
specific. Their master demanded it.
Find out why they're looking for the blood of the old one. Tell them you think you might know where it is. But you need to know why they want it so you can be sure that it's the right old one.
Will do.
Later, Mark.
See you, Mark.
Yeah, it's getting there for all of us, I think.
Yeah, I'm getting close.
Yeah,
We can try to
okay.
wrap this. Your little details here.
So
Yeah.
with that knowledge, I go and do my reconnaissance in wolf form and
All
see
right.
if I can run into Andar while I'm out there, and he can help us out too.
Okay. So you will find another group of wolves. Assume you're going to do the whole thing. Give me a either animal handling or even persuasion to or deception to interact with them. Okay. You find 3 wolves, and they go, "You are from the town we look for. Are you part of the search? Did you find him?"
The old one.
"Yes, the old one. Who else?"
I think I may have found him, but I need a little bit more information to make sure it's the right old one.
"You would know his smell."
I think I must have lost the scent. Would you be able to share it with me?
Give me another deception check.
21.
Ooh. That was a big one, Tyler. That was a big one. He goes, "Lost. Nyx has cloaked him again. We need the old blood one. He's from the past. Born of the past. The old Dreadlord has returned, the king."
I'm stumped.
I asked you 2 things.
What was the other thing?
Ben, can I tell him?
Yep, I'll let you tell.
Why they're looking for the old one.
Oh yeah. So the other thing to make sure I have the right old one, could you remind me why we're looking for him again? Why the master wants him?
Master wants to use him against the others. The newborns.
Against the newborns. What newborns?
Of the old blood. You ask lots of questions for Wolf.
I think I might have missed a meeting.
Meeting? Are you Alpha of Pack?
Clearly, I've got some bad information. I'm gonna keep searching for the old one. You guys keep searching, and we'll catch up later.
You didn't find him?
Not yet, but now that I know more, I appreciate the info. I'll hopefully find him soon.
Oh, taking too long. Dreadmaster will use the Bleak Queen now.
Bleed Queen?
The one he punished for bringing him here.
I hope Jen's jaw's dropping.
Very interesting.
You might want to leave now. Trees will rot, crops will die. This town will perish until we find the old one. And they scamper off.
I scamper the other direction.
Well done. Alright, we will leave it at that.
Crazy.
Nice, good little session of things, more bad things coming down the road. You say yes. Alright, we will try to get another date set. Let me start checking calendars. Got some crazy things happening here.
I mean, I didn't want to break rank, you know.
I don't want to break rank. I think so. Limanika, 15th or 22nd, I think works for either one of these dates here, because the others are going to have to be for the other games.
You're muted.
You still can't hear Lee.
He's working on fixing it.
The only way to shut him up. Technical difficulties.
You got to call out his muteness, and then he comes back. It's like Murphy's Law.
So, yeah, I am totally a no-go for the weekend of the 14th.
So,
entire weekend.
okay, so we're going to say the 22nd. Yes?
Hang on. My calendar's done. Yeah, 22nd would work.
Okay, so 22nd it is. Thank you much, everyone. Until then, we will find more of the old ways. Good night.
Actually, is it 9:22 or 8:22?
9:20.
9.
Okay, cool.
9:22.
Making sure.
8:22 is a Thursday.
All right. Bye, all.